Hello, everybody. Welcome to December Farms. Today we have a little preview on a mod. This is just one I kind of came across when I was setting up a new save game. I've been thinking about doing kind of a survival wilderness save where you cut some trees but also have some flat land and whatnot to mow or till up. But this mod I came across because I was looking through the mods and I noticed it, and I've also noticed the author is in Scroff's Discord and has posted about it, so it just came to my attention. But the mod is called Forestry Helper. It is by Farmsim Tim. Used to be formerly known as Tree Value Info. It offers, we'll just look at the description real here quick. Mod offers 3 modes for cutting. The modes are off, which is the base game. Indication mode length, which you can cut exact lengths from 1 to 12 meters. You can cycle through that, I'll show you. And the other indication mode is weight. You cut to pieces, which can be carried. This produces less than the given weight limit most of the time. Now, I haven't had the case on this one right now. But if we pair this with the mod Lumberjack, we can fix that fairly easily. Weight mode is, however, just a rough estimate and can be deviated by up to 100 kilograms from target weight, especially for things like oak trees. You can scale the weight up to 1,000. He does say match it with the Lumberjack mod, helps you out there. The modes, the chainsaw will snap to the indicated location once within the 20 centimeters. The angle still has to be adjusted manually, so I'll show you that here in a minute. Information displayed in the help window is the volume of the wooden leaders, the current value, hints on which kind of factors could reduce the value of the piece of wood, like the shape, length, and number of branches, total quality of the piece of wood as calculated by the game, the 120% is the max, the amount of liters you would get if you process the wood with a wood chipper, the amount of money you would get if you sold the wood chips at this exact moment, and also the estimated amount of money you would get at a max value of wood chip. To get the maximum value, a piece of wood needs to be near perfect, between 6 to 11 meters in length. Perfect shape is not possible for every piece of wood. The info box will also be displayed whenever a chainsaw is equipped and the rings around the tree is cut as possible. While sitting in a wood harvester, you will see basic information about the tree, but no quality details, since those can only be calculated for the full tree, not for the next piece to be cut, unfortunately. So, without further ado, let's check it out. So if we walk up to a piece of wood, you can see it gives you kind of the basic stuff of it's a spruce, how long this cut is at the moment, the mass. But now we start to get into some of the extras that he's added. So the volume, we have the current value of this piece of wood. The shape is perfect right now. Length is perfect, so that's nice. Number of branches on this, just this section of wood right here, this log, is 0. Total quality, max of 120, is 120% right now. The volume, if we turn it into wood chips, is a little over 3,000. The current value now would be about 1,000, and the max value would be a little over 3,000. So if we look at this, we can see, you'll see I have that up. If we pull up the F1 menu, and there's a couple other keybinds for other mods I have loaded right now, but we have the indication mode, which is toggled with C. So right now we're on off, which is just base game, nothing fancy. Then we have mode length, which we can set desired length with the keybind Z, and that can be done up to 12 meters, 1 through 12. So if I set it at 2, you'll see from this end to here is 2. And when I get close to that mark, it just snaps right to it. So I'm a little there you go. But like it says the angle would be off. You still need to line up your logs. You can't just walk down it and snap it in, otherwise you'll have a bunch of crooked cuts. Come in, you'll have your angle set right. And then you'll see it resets and I can go to the next and I could do it again. You'll see where I have right at 2 meters. Now, the other mode is weight. You can set a weight limit. Starts at 200 kilograms and goes up to 1,000. Yep. So this would be handy for, say, people that want to do like a survival startup, or they want to start with no money and all they have is a four-wheeler or a truck, and they want to chop down a plot of trees and start building their farm that way. Well, you can't always lift. You know, sometimes it's a guessing game on how much you can lift, unless you're using lumberjack super strength, which is kind of cheaty, but you know, to each their own. But if you can set in the settings for lumberjack, you can set the base weight of what you can carry, and I think right now it's at 200. So right now these pieces of wood are at 165, 175, 156. So what we could do is set this at right around 200, snap it, and then we should be pretty close. But right now we're at 223. So obviously we're off on that. Farmsim Tim does say that the values might change. You have up to 100 that it could be off on. That just obviously must be something in the calculation that can't be dialed in perfectly. Now, if you wanted to fix that, so like, you know, if you always wanted to be able to lift to 200, you could go into the menu for lumberjack here and change the normal strength value to 300. Then you'd be able to, you know, pick up ones that are that 200 or whatever. If you always do it by length, the only issue you're gonna have there is if you're on like the stump of the tree, you might have a lot heavier. So a 2 meter cut on the stump might be over 200 kilograms, where a 2 meter cut farther up will only be, you know, whatever kilograms. But if we look at this now, we see this one is only 3.5 meters long. The shape is perfect because we're still on a spruce. It's long, it's, you know, it's straight, it's nice. But the length is just acceptable. Now to get a perfect length, it needs to be between, I believe, 6 and 11 meters. So if we come over to this 6 meter one, see, that's perfect. Come over to this 2.6, that one's bad. So we're not going to get our max quality out of these because, you know, we're only getting about 72% because the lengths aren't very well done. 89% there. I'll bring you over to, I was doing some test cuts, but this tree over here we have not messed with. I just cut it down. Now if we look at it, length is bad because it's way too long. And this shows the number of branches at 93, and that's because we haven't trimmed any of this up. So if we trim some of these branches up, you'll see we've taken down a lot of those branches. If we want to set length, we can do that. We could set it to, say, you know, 8 meters. Snap it right in, cut. You can see we're right at 8 meters. Perfect length, perfect shape. Total quality, 120%. Now, I haven't tried this yet, but I'm going to run over to, say, this tree over here and see if the shape factor comes into play. So we cut this one, it's got a bunch of branches that come all over the place. Yep, so we can see the shape is bad, length is good because it's a shorter tree, and we got the number of branches at 15. So I think, obviously, if you're cutting the spruce trees, you're gonna get a much better shape. These are just, you know, they're all twisted, not much good shape to them. So that's just the quick mod preview. Nothing fancy. Like I said, it works well with Lumberjack because in Lumberjack you can see the actual lengths on the info menu there in the top left. You can see what your lengths are, so you kind of get a rough estimate of what you want. Then set your tree length too of what you like. You know, if you're trying to make them all fit in the bed of a truck, you can measure it out and throw one log in there, and then you know what you need to set it, and you can just cut it. Works really well, like I said, with like a survival gameplay, because I know when I first started doing survivalist gameplays and stuff, it was they didn't have mods to measure trees, they didn't have weight limits and stuff, so you were always kind of you would cut one little section of tree and then just estimate that by using it to cut the rest of your trees. But now with this, you can just knock out a whole bunch of trees, no problem. Cut the same length, get the same weights, get close to the same weight, so you're not worrying about picking them up and whatnot. Be very handy for just efficiency and gameplay to be able to make things quicker. But hope you helped. Hope you didn't help. Hope you liked the mod preview. Like I said, it's Forestry Helper by Farmsim Tim. It is on the mod hub. I'll try to remember to link it in the description. Uh, Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on it. If there's any improvements you maybe think could be done. I know he is actively updating it, so I'm sure he would take any possible positive criticism to it. Uh, Let me know. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hopefully it's short and sweet. And have a blessed day. I'll talk to y'all later.